From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
What's going on, nerds? And welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. A little bit different this week, mostly because Paul's here, and Paul is never here. But hi, Paul.
I'm here for general assholery and tomfoolery.
Yeah, I figured with that one. I really did. But let's really bring in the wonderful guest here. Somebody we've been talking to for quite a while. It's HighlanderVO himself. It's Mike McCarroll. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about this since, I don't know, middle of July. And it's November now.
Has it really been that long?
It really has.
I feel like I just aged. 20 years in that statement.
I literally saw your beard and it just grayed. It like grayed over. But
You should have
Mike,
seen my pubes. Anyway.
Mike, let's get right into this having tomfoolery fun, like Paul just said. What do you do? Who are you? And what makes you a nerd?
So, what I do is I play with my willy. If you mean professionally, I do voiceovers, mostly for indie video games. I do a lot of commercial work. For a while, I was the go-to whiskey and golf guy of the East Coast. So if you turned on the radio and you heard a whiskey or a golf commercial, 9 times out of 10, it was me. So I was the guy that would do the aged 500 years as an oak barrel, brewed to a secret family recipe for generations, made in the Scottish Highlands with the finest of ingredients. I was that cunt.
Dude, I've heard you say that so many times, I still get a kick out of it. And what's messed up about a lot of the voice acting stuff that I remember you talking with us about, that in America, if they want a Scot, they hire American.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want somebody that actually sounds like it because they want Groundskeeper Willie stuff.
They
And I
want
think that-
Groundskeeper Willie, Scrooge McDuck, or Shrek. They typically they don't want an authentic Scottish accent because, for the most part, most Americans all confuse Scottish and Irish, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it is like it's a thing, you know?
Yeah, it's a big thing, but let's talk about that wonderful night at Connecticut. Because
What happens in Connecticut stays in Connecticut.
or ends up on YouTube.
Aye, true. So, you remember that part where I had my balls out? I didn't have my balls out, or did I? We'll never know.
I think it was just two bald guys standing next to each other.
It was.
It was a lot of two bald guys standing next to each other.
So,
It was.
Mike, let's talk about how you got into that crowd that brought you to Connecticut. Now, I know you were kind of running the microphone around for John, but what got you into, that crowd right there?
Oh, you mean like how did I meet John?
Yeah, basically.
So we're talking about John St. John. For anyone that doesn't know, John St. John's the voice of Duke Nukem. He did the bumper for you guys. He's Big the Cat, Sonic the Hedgehog. He's a fantastic human being. I've actually known John and his partner for a good number of years now. We actually met at MagFest. 2016, 2017, something like that.
Good.
And funnily enough, we didn't like. I hit off I hit off very well with his partner V, but I didn't get as much of a chance to talk to John. So it was just like one of these people that like we were friends, but we weren't friends, we were acquaintances, right? And then the comic book store that I used to work at in Virginia, shout outs to Toshi Station for the record. If you're in Virginia or that area, go check out Toshi Station or Echo Base. They didn't pay me for this. They should, but they didn't. Anyway,
I'll take the money.
I'll take the money, thank you. Anyway, all that to say is, so they ended up doing Free Comic Book Day, where mutual friend of ours basically started arranging voiceover guests for it. So we had like Wes Johnson, we had Mike Rawson, and we had John. And because I was better friends with Wes and Mike, our mutual friend Mark, he set up a dinner and he was like, "Hey, you should come out to this dinner." And this was still in the throes of me recovering, I guess, from my wife's death, which it's still like a weird thing to talk about, especially like with any kind of time having passed, because it both simultaneously feels like 10 years have passed and feels like it was last week. So it's time means nothing to me now. But so I go out there and because this was like a couple months or maybe even only a couple weeks after she had passed. It was like it was not long. And so I'm just there at this dinner and I'm making jokes as I normally do, as you'll find during the end of this episode. In fact, if there isn't shirts with some sort of fucking quote from this by the end of it, I riot.
It's not like I was already waiting for it.
Okay, cool. So so I was just making jokes and stuff, and John and I, we went from like kind of like, okay, we're running in the same circles, to, oh, you and I, we fucking totally get on. So the next night we're doing another event. So I come out there and I thought it was just going to be like me hanging out with like Wes and Mike and a little bit of John and stuff. And it ended up I was playing laser tag with John and like racing them in go-karts because we're at a Funland. You know, this is what we do. This is what you do as a voice actor. You actually you get drunk and you play laser tag and do go-karts. It was a lot of fun. There's a great I took a little video and to send to my friend, because like my friend was a huge Duke Nukem fan growing up. So, and then during that, like, you know, John and I were just riffing off each other back and forth. We ended up I made the joke that I was the official voice of Dick Kickham. So
I'm so happy I didn't take a drink when you said that.
And Jonesy, the other guy that was running the mic on the night with the John St. John panel, his unofficial nickname is Tush Push'em. So that gives you an idea. Funnily enough, that night when it was me and Jonesy running the mics back and forth, that was the first night I'd ever met Jonesy, and like we immediately clicked. It was like,
yeah, he was cool too.
Yeah, and so John, that night that we were sitting fucking around doing laser tag and that, he was like, you know, I'm doing a con in Connecticut and I'm doing a panel. I would like you to be on that panel. And I was like, you know, I'm fucking no one, right? Like, like I'm no anybody important. Like, I have no draw. My name has no draw yet. And he was like, no, you're fucking hilarious, man. Come on, like, we'll go to it. And so, sure enough, the time comes round, and I was like, he was like, hey, so you're coming up, right? And I was like, it's a 8-hour drive?
Yeah, about.
Sure, fuck it.
From Virginia, 8, 10, depending on how fast you drive. Paul, shut up. I know you can do it in 6.
We did it in about 7.
Oh, well, shit. Nice.
It was fast. And I remember Mark at one point was like, step on the gas, grandma, and I was already doing 85. So I was like, and I drive a shitty Toyota Corolla, like it's a 2008. If I had pushed that thing much fucking further, we would have like come out the front of it like a fucking Looney Tunes character. It just would have been like Flintstones in it, you know, down the highway. But yeah, so literally, that was a long answer to the question, but the question was basically how did I get around that whole group? It turns out just making John St. John laugh. That was the secret. It's the secret of my success.
Well, you continued to make us laugh that whole fucking night, dude. Like the minute we sat down, because I had no clue. I've never gone to a John St. John panel before. My brother and Paul both did, and we're like, they got it. I thought you did. Maybe it was Rob. Well, my brother was like, we have to sit up front. I go, all right, what the fuck? I don't care. And then you walk straight by and you just look at me like. And from that moment, I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. I looked at my brother. I go, we're gonna get picked on a lot.
I had to.
Dude, the amount of toys and liquid thrown our way is disgusting. Or was disgusting.
I threw a lot of lube at you guys.
You did. And you looked at my wife next to me and was like, you two be good now.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Dude, I remember it. Mostly, that panel was hilarious. But just to give everybody watching at home, whether, you know, you're from Highlander's Discord or if you watch him on Twitch, he will just sit there and talk with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're famous. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, just there. I like you. Sit next to you and drink like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's literally like I'm a big proponent of treat everybody how you want to be treated. So even if you're dealing with someone who's a cunt, like I think it's important to treat them no like a cunt until like to a certain point, you know, because like you can only be so kind to someone before they wear out their chances.
Yeah.
You know. But generally speaking, I'm like, I'll treat everybody pretty much the exact same. It's like I used to get into trouble in college a lot because people would assume that I was flirting with them, but I wasn't. I was just being friendly. But of course, being friendly to the opposite sex, it's like, you know how it is.
Yeah, we do.
Bullying is his love language. It's true. It's true. It is.
So happy you're seeing them too.
But that's entirely true. Like Cole, for the record, Cole is a fantastic person. Love Cole to bits. They are one of the greatest people I know. Like respectfully, smash. Right? Respectfully. And I would never do anything to jeopardize the relationship with the partner who also respectfully smash. Anyway, and I'm gonna keep eating risotto. Respectfully, smash.
Reminds me of Christmas Vacation. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Happy Hanukkah, fuck you. But I went to that panel just for the voiceover. After we had drinks, you were absolutely hilarious the whole time. Even the next day when you're like, you guys are still fucking here? Like, what the fuck? But you know, we got your information, your Discord, your Twitch, and let's talk about your wonderful Twitch stuff. Because you play a lot, and a lot of shit. Like, I think you just finished Alan Wake 3. How did that go? Two?
So, yeah. It was amazing. Like, so, the thing is like, I was playing through all of the Remedy games because Remedy are like my love language is Remedy. It's like every one of Remedy's games are a game that I've like loved. So they did Max Payne 2, Alan Wake 2, Quantum Break, and Control, along with stuff like the original Death Rally, its remake. They did like the Crossfire X campaign. but Crossfire X was a load of shit. The campaign was okay, but still, like this was me being like, whenever Alan Wake 2 was announced, and I remember it was at the Game Awards a couple of years ago. There's still a clip of me on Twitch somewhere, and it's like, I typically don't buy into hype whenever like it's those type of shows. Like I used to stream myself watching Nintendo Directs, but it was like it would literally be me like sitting here like like the only time I ever get hyped is if it's something that I want. Like, see, whenever Banjo Kazooie got put in Smash, I was like, fucking yes! Right? But when Alan Wake 2 got announced, I was up at my chair, the fucking headphones were coming off, and I'm going like, Alan Wake 2! You know, like, I was, like, cum was just erupting out my cock like a fucking faucet. I was so hyped, so I knew.
Like, don't come in here. Why? What's wrong? Don't come in here.
No. Oh no, come in here. Come in here. Yeah, watch. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learn.
I'll be quiet. I'll just sit in the corner.
So basically, like, I knew that I was gonna play Alan Wake 2, but then I was like, but if no one else knows any of the fucking lore or all the stuff that I'm gonna be all hyped about, then it's gonna be a shite watch. So I played through all the games, so that people would have at least a base understanding, if not all the lore. Before that, like I started playing Cyberpunk 2077. I'll probably go back to that at some point.
That's a fucking good game. Holy shit. I thought that was going to be a major flop, and the only reason why it did so well was Keanu Reeves. But then again, the Xbox One and the PS4, we don't talk about those releases. But I had it for the Series X, never had an issue, and love the game. I think I have like 4 or 5 playthroughs, but continue about you going back to it.
Oh yeah, so I hadn't played it. I waited until it was patched enough that
Okay.
that it wasn't dog shit. But I really struggle with like story-based games because see if there's like a narrative, it's very difficult for me to be entertaining, which is one of the things that like I like to do because I like talking with people. Like, I like being able to sit and just shoot the shit with folks, because that's fun to me. Versus, like, if it's a really narrative-heavy thing, then I'm like, I'll start to say something, and then I'll, like, trail off, because I'm being looped into the story, and then I'll try and go back to it, but then sometimes chat will progress too far. And it's like, it becomes very difficult. But I still remember whenever the first game I ever started playing on Twitch was when Fall Guys was just brand new. The first time I ever streamed was the day that Fall Guys was released. Okay. Because this was when my wife was going through chemo, and I was so stressed, and I was just like, I wish I just had something to distract. And she was like, why don't you try Fall Guys? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you could stream it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I will. And so I did, and then I think within like a month and a bit, I was an affiliate, which was really cool.
Shit, nice.
I became an affiliate while I was playing through the new Battletoads, because that again, like I'm a variety streamer, which means that I play pretty much any game that I can, along with like I'll do other shit. Like I've done just chat streams. You've seen me do like Warhammer painting streams, or I'll build Gunpla. You can probably tell I have a small collection of Transformers. I
mean, Paul's got a bunch right behind him, hanging on the wall.
Gundams.
Transformers out though.
I was gonna say those are Gundams. Fuck's sake, AJ. No, I'm just kidding. Fake numbed! Fake numbed! Get him!
But you know, I kind of wanted to bring this completely around when it comes to your Twitch, because I shit you not, that man over there, well, I guess over there if you're watching, every time we're hanging out and you go live, he's literally Highlander's on, and then I was like, oh, that's my cue, Highlander's on, and we're just there, just
Paul, you're a good guy, no one you know.
Hey, we have some fun times to chat.
And we're watching the new Five Nights movie, right? All around in a living room, and you look above the mantle of the fireplace, Paul's phone's up there with your stream going, so he can watch the movie and watch your stream at the exact same time. That man is severely dedicated.
Paul,
be fair,
Paul,
it
I'll
was-
shag you.
It was more so you had the view. I couldn't exactly see my phone.
I
It
know.
was more so
That's
you
why
had
you're
the
getting
view.
shagged, Paul. It's fine. Oh, really? So I've just looked over at the YouTube chat and I just see Cole saying that Fall Guys was started watching you. I didn't realize you were a new streamer. You had professional vibes. Nice. Yeah, I had maybe like I started streaming just before I became patron of Studson, which for the record, another YouTube channel I can't recommend enough. Studson Studios. I think he passed 1 million subscribers now, but he's a craft channel, and he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. His videos make me laugh. Him, The Craftsman, and Gaming University are like my top 3 YouTube channels.
So I know how
apart from the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast.
There you go.
It's a real good
There you go.
channel, and you should subscribe. Fucking like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.
Man, I
That's
just
some
need,
ASMR for you.
I just need to like cut that, and I'll play that if we ever do like commercials and everything.
As
But
long as I get residuals, anyway.
I would gladly do that if we even got paid for this shit. But Paul, I'm actually gonna throw this part to you because you're gonna be able to do this. Highlander's a big Digimon fan.
Yeah,
Huge Digimon fan.
like actually, those are my Digimon cards there. See how they're all Digivices?
Yeah. Oh, just wait. It's gonna get bad.
And then hold on. There's all my model kits up there, my Digimon model kits.
Oh shit.
And
Yeah, my model kits are still in the box that I haven't built. But
that's fair. No, I'm just no, I fucked up. Fuck. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
You're good. We're good. It's fine. We're having fun.
I have one of those boxes dedicated to each booster set. And they are full. And I finally bought my BT13 and they're coming tomorrow.
Yeah, I still need to get some RB1 because the store didn't have any, and that was just as I was moving, so I had to wait. And the new store that I'm going to here doesn't do Digimon, and so the other card store that's here doesn't do Digimon.
Ooh.
It hurts.
Yeah, no shit.
It's my soul.
Like, I got into Digimon for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. I was like, I'm trying to learn magic. Learning Digimon at the same time is bullshit. And then my buddy Will is like, hey, this Disney card game's coming out. And I'm like, I hate you. Because
here's my credit card. There we go.
It's like, magic has my attention. But then Digimon had my slight attention. And then this Disney Magic game came out, and I'm like, I have ADHD, but not that bad. I can't do that.
Actually, fun fact. After we're done here, I'm literally going to go see the new Digimon movie. It's in theaters for 2 days, and I'm seeing it at 7 my time.
Dude. How excited are you for that one?
Pretty excited. I mean, the shit thing is this is literally the first time in my life that I'm ever going to the cinema myself, because I'm just in a new country, not a new country, new state, new place. So I'm like, I haven't made a lot of friends in the area yet. Like, I actually made a few, but like not a lot. So it's it can be a little difficult.
Yeah, just a tad. Like, I don't know anybody out here, and the last person I met got my car towed.
Yeah, we ain't talking about that.
So let's talk about Mr. Voiceover Artist over here. Let's talk about what got you into wanting to be a voiceover artist, what your favorite role so far has been. But
Okay.
we'll start with those two questions. What got you into it, and what has been your favorite role so far?
Really simple answer for what got me into it, and it's Transformers. I never ever thought about doing voiceover or anything. Like, weirdly enough, years and years ago, I had to do what was called like a it was like a trial week at college. Like before I chose my, I guess you guys would call it a major or whatever. Like before I chose the program I was on, I had to do like a week of doing like a bit of everything. And whenever I did the theater stuff, the tutor said to me like, "Have you thought about doing drama?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm doing computer information systems because I'm going to make video games." That didn't happen.
Well, you stayed in at least the same realm in a way.
Yeah, but like it turned out whenever I said that I wanted to make video games, I meant I wanted to like direct or write them. I didn't want to do the programming. Turns out I fucking hate programming. But I just didn't think about it for years, and then I went down to Birmingham to the Auto Assembly, which is now TF Nation, but it was a Transformers convention, and I had met a lot of the voice actors and stuff before, but this year it was Paul Eiding, who is Perceptor in Transformers. He's Colonel Campbell in Metal Gear Solid. He's Ben 10. He's Grandpa Max from Ben 10. He's
Shit.
He was in both the Incredibles movies. He was in Monsters Inc. He's done
He's got
so
that
much
Disney money.
He's got the Pixar money at the very least.
Yeah.
But he's a fantastic voice actor, and because he was Perceptor as well, I thought it was cool as fuck. And it wasn't just him; it was also Townsend Coleman, who was the original voice of Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was Michael Bell, who was Prowl, Bombshell, Brainstorm, Bone Crusher, someone else, like 20 fucking Transformers, right? And he, like, the good thing about All Assembly is like this was before people started like really charging for videos or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was like I could just go up to them and be like, "Hey, do you mind like recording a wee video for my friends or that aren't here?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And it was Paul Eiding and I both had whiskeys in our hand, and I was like, "Could I like do a wee video?" And he was like, "Sure." So it was for my brother. And he did his line from Transformers the movie, which is like the cursory evaluations of Decepticon capabilities indicates a distinct tactical deficiency. In other words, Perceptor, we're outnumbered, and it all goes like that, right? So it was a really, really good bit, and it was funny because like without thinking, whenever he did the line, I said, "In other words, Perceptor," and he was like, "We're outnumbered. And we wouldn't be if you were here." And it was like this really nice like wee video, and I like felt something in my chest, and I was just like, wow, that's like that was like a core memory unlocked. And then whenever I was talking to Townsend, I can't remember who I was doing the video for, but he ended up doing like one of those big cowabunga, right? And see, whenever he did that, I welled up like a little bitch. I was like a 9-year-old with a skin fucking knee. I had tears in my eyes at this guy doing a fucking Ninja Turtle thing. And I was like, that was the part where I was like, fuck. This is what I want. I want to make other people feel the way I just felt. So I got home from the Transformers convention late August, and I enrolled in acting and theatre performance at the local college. Good thing about Scotland, there's not a lot, but a good thing about Scotland is that education is free for Scottish people.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I went to college 3 times. I have 0 debt from that. Funnily enough, the only debt I have is from medical debt in America. Not even mine. Anyway, so
I hate to laugh at that, but just the way you said it.
Oh no, it's fine. I deliberately set it up to be funny. Because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. But I went and studied acting and theatre performance just because I was like, right, well, I know what I want to do. And that was kind of it. I went down to London, recorded my reels, and then just started auditioning. And that was really it.
Now, what's auditioning like in for being a voice actor?
Really, it's so the thing is like earlier on you asked me like what's my favorite role or whatever, and it's like the two common answers are, it's like, well, one, it's like trying to pick between your children, and then the other one is the next one, like, because you're always thinking about that next one. For anyone interested in getting voiceovers, understand that the job isn't doing the voiceovers. The job is auditioning. Like, whenever you audition for something, you are competing against anyone else who's auditioning. You are competing against everyone else who's auditioning. Once you have booked the job, they have already picked you. You just go in and deliver. You're not like, so the job is great. See, whenever I get to just go in and do voiceover, it's amazing. It's so much fun. It's great. That's not the job. The job is auditioning. So so with that in mind, like, because I've just moved and done had to get a new job and do like a new regular job, I should say, and all this other stuff, it's like my auditioning stream has dwindled to like nothing. I've maybe put out 3 auditions since I moved here, but that's also because I'm still adjusting the new sleep schedule, all this other stuff. But back when I lived in Virginia, I was putting out anywhere between 80 to 160 auditions a day, on average.
Yeah. But what does that consist of? Like, do they give you like, say this?
Yeah, so you'll get audition scripts. Sometimes you'll just send a reel, like, one of your reels off, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's great," or they'll say like, "Hey, we liked one of your voices. Would you mind like reading this sample or whatever?" Another point of advice for anyone: don't read the full scripts that they give you, because then they can just take them and use them and never pay you. Ask me how I know. And
No.
yeah, no, it was one of the first voiceover jobs I ever booked, and it was for a noir style audiobook. And it was like, so I had to read stuff like the dame had legs up to here and stuff like that. Like, it was really ridiculous and cheesy, but it would have been a good payday. And I recorded the entire script because I didn't know any better, because it was the first one. They took it, and I never heard from them again. I don't know if the book ever came out. For all I know, the company could have folded, but I still did the work and I should have been paid.
Yeah.
That's, those things just happen sometimes.
Learning experiences.
Yeah.
Unfortunate
exactly.
learning experiences, because it comes out as a shot to your
self-esteem.
I was gonna say your
wallet,
your withdrawal, your wallet, deposit. It's all that shit. But,
all the above.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, so it's like like I said, doing that is very. It can be like, you have to have thick skin to do it, because 90% of the time you're never going to get any feedback. Like, you in fact 99.9 repeating, you won't get feedback. So it's like, you'll send off, you could have done everything right, but you'll still not get picked, and you'll never know why. So you can get in your own head a lot. And I think like a large part of it is just trying to get over that hump,
No, I don't want you to like divulge, secrets of how you do stuff, but how do you find a certain voice for a certain character? What all culminates into finding the right voice for the character or a character?
I mean, it's I'm different.
Dude, I came into this like with a list of questions for you, because I knew you were gonna be a killer guest.
Feels so special. Oh my god. So the thing is like, a lot of actors all like give like different answers about like, their inspirations or anything, and all that applies. Like, like I've got a tattoo of Starscream on my leg. If I could, I would voice Starscream in a heartbeat. If that opportunity ever graces my doors, by God, I will do it. But like, a lot of characters are just based off of people I know in real life. Like, a lot of the time when they ask me to play an angry Scot, like, I'm not an angry guy. I'm like, I mean, I'll act up, I'll get angry, but my angry Scot character is based entirely off my dad, because my dad was the angriest human being to ever live. He was angry at everything and nothing. His anger was incalculable. See, if there was an absence of anger in this world, my dad would have been pissed off about it. Like, it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not. This is it's just very real. He was angry. Like, he was the very definition of bowel problems. Like, you could just tell. Like, it was one of those things. And I loved my dad to bits, but like, my dad was the kind of guy who would go, he'd always go, oh, Jesus H Christ, you know, and it was like that, always like the hand up to the head, like he was going to burst a fucking blood vessel. And I still remember, I was like, Dad, what does the H stand for? And he went, it's fucking holy. Like, it's as if that's like, why would I know that? Why would I, at like 8 years old, know that the H in Jesus H Christ stood for holy? Like, does it? Probably not. But that was my dad. So anytime I have to do an angry Scot, I just fucking start talking like my dad would, with the same cadence, you know? And that
cool.
becomes the character. Because even if that's not quite what they're looking for, they might like what I've done. And it's the same thing where it's like, you look at inspiration comes from anywhere. Like, whenever I hear people talking on the bus, or like whenever, like, I just finished driving across the country, you know, and any stop that I went to, any gas station, you would hear like weird conversations between people, and all of that is like super super weird, but it's all like you pick and choose from that. If you're doing fantasy though, like if you're doing like fantastical creatures, that comes from like a degree of cultural literacy, and then also being able to read what they're asking and being able to deliver something entirely different. Like, say there's a snake character, right?
Okay.
Snakes are frequently, they're conniving, they're whispering, they'll do the elongated S, you know, they'll all be like that. But if they said that this snake is upbeat and poppy, right? Like, how do you translate that, like the conniving, slithering snake, into something poppy? It probably becomes a little bit camp, a little bit depressing, but like, you know, a little bit offensive, and like, but that's because you're playing off of a cultural stereotype.
It's amazing how you could just flip voices just in like a word, just go from like, here's where I'm switching, whoop, right through it.
I mean, but again, like, these are all like these are all just like things that you learn acting as well, because if you go and listen to anybody's like voiceover reels, if they're done well, mine's aren't, but if they're done well, they'll have what's called a turn. And it's like a character moment where they'll be exhibiting one emotion, they will snap to another one, and then go back. And that's a really good sign of an actor, when they can and then go right back. Because it's a great example is actually, like, I'm in the middle of re-recording my voiceover reels, because they needed redone. I need to be competitive in the California market as opposed to the Virginia market. Of course, those lines are a lot more cross now as well because of COVID and everything. Everything became a lot more remote, which meant all of a sudden the pool of people that could apply everything got huge. But like, there's one of the characters that I'm doing for my reel is a bartender, like, you know, like a Witcher game style bartender, where he's like, "I welcome in. It's nice to see a new face around here." And then there's a bar fight going in the background, so it's like, "Oh, welcome in," and I fucking tell you to. Well, it be there, traveler. You know, like that type of thing, where it's just like you get that immediate, like, because it shows range. It's like you can do that with anything. Like,
I don't even need voice acting to do that. I just yell at my niece and nephew to cut the shit out. Yeah, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Exactly. But that's the thing, is that's real. Like,
Paul's laughing because he knows.
But it's like, because that's real. That's like a real thing that would happen in a bar, where it's just like, you know, you're talking, "Oh, it's nice to see a new." What the fuck are you two doing? Jesus H Christ!
You're the reason why Jesus has a middle name.
It's fucking holy. So like, it's that kind of thing, you know?
Ah, shit. Oh god, I'm crying. But no, this is a great conversation who Paul and I are having with Highlander Mike McCarroll. But before we go any further, go check out our wonderful line of merchandise. It's down in the description if you're on YouTube, and it's up in the description if you're on Facebook. Go check it out. Get yourself a t-shirt. Everything helps going back straight into the channel. And also, if you get any of the Nerds Going Pink stuff, all those proceeds do go to the Susan G. Komen Fund for Breast Cancer Research. Because we're trying to do our part. I left it open for an extended period of time so people can still get their stuff. But yeah, go check it all out. Highlander is going to be picking out a nerd shirt or nerd accessory, and he will be getting a t-shirt, hoodie, or whatever the hell he wants, I guess. Shipped
you
right
sell
to him.
cock warmers?
No, but we do have butt plugs. I'm kidding.
Sold. Put them on. I'll
Dude.
take 4.
Do you still have the one from Kineticon?
I do.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, a little bunny just prancing around.
It is in a box somewhere.
Well, yeah, you
I
did
don't
just
wanna see
move.
the
Yeah. But yeah, no,
state
it
it's in
boom.
anymore.
is like when they're handing out stuff and they're like, "Hey, put this butt plug in your trousers." I'm like, "All right, cool."
I don't care. Boom.
Yep.
But we've
as long as at no point you hear that, then we're fine,
So we've talked about you being a voiceover artist. We talked about you being a Twitch personality. Let's talk about what makes Mike a nerd. I know you have all that crap right behind you like I do, but what are some of your
Whoa.
it's not crap. It's not crap. I'm sorry. Wonderful nerdum behind you. But when you think of yourself being a nerd, what comes to the forefront? Because I know Digimon, I know Transformers, but what else?
So what else am I nerdy about? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's get Back to the Future. Again, the Remedy games, I am almost autistically obsessed over, I would say, because it is like that. It's that level.
Oh, you're gonna like this. I know what he just grabbed. Paul, show him.
I fucking love it. Is that a Turtles whiskey?
Yeah, it's a Jack
is
Daniels bottle
Jack
with
Daniels.
a sticker on. Here you go.
Oh, that's cool as fuck.
I still got 2 more to do, but I saw these and I bought 4 sets.
I love
Back to the
this. This is
Future, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The fire is going to be Pokemon, and the apple is going to be Ghostbusters.
Oh yes. So yeah, Ghostbusters is another one. I'm actually really excited for Frozen Empire.
That trailer though. Shit.
It's weird because it didn't hit me as much as I wanted it to.
Mhm.
Like I thought it was going to be like oh fuck, like I thought it was going to be like, yes, new Ghostbusters. Instead, I was just like, all right, like I was just like,
I liked
okay.
Afterlife. I really liked Afterlife.
I loved Afterlife. I will say it hurt. The whole I didn't see it for like 6 months, and I managed to avoid it spoiler free, except for one of my friends was like, every one of my friends was like, "There's a bit that made me cry," right? And
I know what you're talking about.
well, that everyone knows, right? But the thing is like there was a bit where, I mean, the film's been out long enough now. I don't mind like
Go for it. Go
semi-spoiling
for it.
But it's like the bit I thought was the bit where she calls up Ray Stantz, and was like, I want to talk about Egon Spengler. Egon Spengler can rot in hell, and it's like he's dead, and he goes, oh, and like you see his face drop, and it really, like, that's another example of like a really good character moment, because it really did seem like that was the first time Ray had heard that Egon was gone.
Yeah.
And that was a really powerful one. I felt myself getting choked up, and I was like, oh, that must have been the bit that made him cry. And then there was the bit in the garage with Egon's daughter, not the granddaughter, but in the secret workshop, which is walking around, and you see like the the light coming on and stuff. So she goes to the photographs, and it's like a really touching moment. You've got that swell of the music and everything. And I was like, I felt it got choked up again. And I was like, that must have been the bit. And then the fucking ending, when Egon is a ghost and helps, he grabs the proton pack and you see it going up, and I fucking was sobbing. And I was like, that must have been the bit. And it turns out, that was the bit, That was and the thing is like, I will say that I loved Afterlife, but I loved Afterlife as someone that knows the real life drama that went on behind the scenes. That Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had a falling out, and they did make up close to the end of his life, but that's like, really, that was why Bill Murray was the reason there was no Ghostbusters 3. It was just like, he just didn't want to fucking do it.
Well, we did get a Ghostbusters 3. It was the video game.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, is the video game was based off of the original Ghostbusters 3 script, Ghostbusters in Hell, which would have been great, but literally the only reason Bill Murray agreed to do it as a video game was if he could only do one session. So he just went in and battered out all his lines in a single session, and like, I like Bill Murray, I really do. But if you go and listen to his performance in that game,
It's not great.
Dull. It's dull and lifeless compared to everyone else. Like, it's still good because it's Bill Murray, but it's not as good as it could have been. But that's the thing, is it's like, there was so much that could have been, and it wasn't. So it was just like one of those, like, it was frustrating, because I don't think it's a good Ghostbusters movie. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a good movie. It's almost like it would have worked better as a documentary, almost like a satirical mockumentary of like why the Ghostbusters were no longer together or anything. But as an actual, like, as a Ghostbusters movie, it doesn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie, because 90% of the movie, like, fucking nothing happens. But the points of that movie are amazing. It's like, and again, I say this as someone who loved Afterlife, I really did. But I'll be the first to admit that I thought a lot of the stuff that they chose to do was manipulative, but deliberately. Like, being manipulative in this case isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like when you are deliberately twisting the audience to get that reaction. So it's like, they put, like, see if they had just, like, I loved seeing Egon as a ghost at the end of it, right? However, I think that a less manipulative way of doing that would have just been the hand going up and helping the proton pack, and then just leaving it at that, because anyone would have known. But then you don't have the Ghostbusters all saying goodbye to him, which is the part that's very fucking manipulative, But it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like a thing that, because I've worked in media as long as I have, it is difficult to not go like,
Good night, kid. Good night, kid. I know, that's Uncle Paul. Go back upstairs. That was my wonderful niece. Every night before bed, she comes down and says goodnight.
I fucking tell you to. No, just kidding.
Nah, I'll take that any day. I don't care if it's on stream. I don't care if I'm broadcasting my races on All Star 15 TV.
Yeah,
I don't
know,
care.
She's adorable. I appreciate that. This is very adorable.
Because you never know. You never know when she's gonna grow. She's gonna be too old and not do that anymore.
Next week.
No, God no.
That'll be a cold day. That'll be a cold goddamn day.
But dude, I could tell you stories about playing that Ghostbusters game, and Paul can back me up on this.
I love the game.
We tried we tried hitting every achievement, and for some reason that money one where don't exceed this amount of damage. We've exceeded the first level.
Yep.
And I've always had fun with it. I've always been told it's Ghostbusters 3, just they took the script, altered it a little bit, and just went with it. I like Afterlife.
They altered it a lot actually. Like if they had gotten Sigourney Weaver back, it would have been the Ghostbusters 3 script. But the character that's played by, is it Alyssa Milano? No, it's not Alyssa Milano. Is it?
Are you talking about the museum curator?
Yes.
I don't know, but Paul's probably already looking it up, knowing him.
I'm out. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have my phone out for a strange reason.
Yeah, you had a
cat.
phone out. Yeah. You're texting your cat. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I'm taking pictures of my cat.
Please don't do that. It's 2023. I don't want to know.
That's
I
fair.
already
But
took a picture of her. She was laid out and just like sprawled so comfortably. I had to take a picture of her.
no. But yeah, I forget who it is that plays the museum. For some reason, I thought it might not be Alyssa Milano.
It's really drawn a blank for you, but continue with what you were saying.
But I was just gonna say, like, so her character was created to replace Sigourney Weaver, which is obvious if you play the game. But like, you know, and it was nice that we got Sigourney Weaver in Afterlife, and it looks like they are moving forward. I'm looking forward to Frozen Empire, Paul Rudd being a Ghostbuster. I think Paul Rudd was born to play a Ghostbuster, and I think that's okay.
Dude, I love Paul Rudd in basically everything the last couple of years. Holy shit.
Paul Rudd could literally do anything he wants forever. Except any more Ant-Man stuff, because I'm fucking sick of it.
Holy shit. I think you were right. I think it is Alyssa Milano.
I thought it was, yeah.
Good pull.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah, I found that. Her character's name is Dr. Alyssa Selwyn.
So that's basically... Jesus, she's in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But you talked about Ghostbusters, TMNT, Digimon.
Back to the Future.
Jesus Christ. Is it me or is Back to the Future literally the same exact movie? Same exact movie. Yeah. 3 times. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So one is a 1950s love letter. One is a dystopian parody like RoboCop, but with a much more family-friendly thing, and one is a Western. They are 3 movies that are the exact same the entire way through, and they're great. They're great.
And the entire plot is that they got to get back to the future.
Yeah.
Or back to the past. Or back to the future. They're going to return to the future that was the new timeline, but not the new timeline, but the old timeline with the new thing that came in to fix the thing that was in the thing with the first place, you know?
Dude, that reminds me of freaking Spaceballs. When will we then be now?
Soon. Yeah.
Jeez, those movies can't air on TV nowadays, or they'd be like 4 minutes long. Holy cow!
No, they could do it. They could do it. It's like if they can put snakes on a plane and do a made-for-TV edit, there's nothing that you couldn't do. Not even Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles, you could do it. It's fine. It would be weird, but you could do it.
It would be really weird. But what do you have coming up next, pal? What's Mikey doing that he can talk about?
That I can talk about very little. I'll tell you what. There's I announced this on my Discord and stuff like that, and on my socials. But there's an RTS game coming out called Smellog's Playground. It is a really fun looking like RTS game, kind of in the vein of like somewhere between StarCraft and Warcraft 3 or whatever, but it's more like, I'm gonna say like indigenous, or like stone golems. It's interesting looking, but you can choose from a variety of different announcers, and one of those announcers is yours truly. And that was a lot of fun to do. They pretty much gave me free reign. I just got they gave me like a list of things, like points that I had to hit. So it was like, you know, if you don't have enough power for something. So if I wanted to, I could have said, you must construct additional pylons. But instead I said something like, yeah, can you do that? You've not got the power, you know, like stuff like that. Or they just let me like riff for however long it was. Captain, the ship can't take it. Or, you know, I could do whatever I wanted, and I'm
giving her all she's got.
I'm giving it Wally, you know, like, and then I got to do I got to do. It was like a wild card line where I could just say whatever the fuck I wanted, right? And it has like a 1 in 500 chance of happening or something like that. So the line that I did, so in Scotland we say "smell your maw," right? Like smell your mum,
Okay.
you know. So, but how you do it? Like frequently you do it like smell your maw, like as in you fingered their mother. You know,
Okay.
so you're like,
All right. I see where that was going.
so I was like, smell og your maw, and that made it into the game. So there's a 1 in 500 chance that you build up the game. Instead of me going, "Welcome to Smellog's Playground," it goes, "Smell og your maw."
I wonder
Which
if they
is-
know that.
They
Put it
do.
in there.
They do.
Oh, okay.
They do. I talked it over with one of the devs as well. One of the devs frequently comes into my streams as well. Shouts to Simon if you're watching. Can't wait to actually play Smellog's Playground. It actually does look fun. I'm a big RTS fan as well.
Is
Like,
that
I
going to
love my
be on
StarCrafts.
mobile, computer, Xbox?
Yes.
What is that going to be on?
Mobile and Steam for sure. I don't know beyond that, but I think they are targeting Switch as well.
Oh,
but
shit, cool.
Again, I don't know. That's like the next thing that I'm involved in. I can talk about. There is other stuff. I should also mention. I mentioned Gaming University earlier on YouTube. They do a bunch of Remedy lore and Remedy fan stuff. One of their things that they do is a series called The Archivist, and it is set within the Control universe, and I am a reoccurring character on the series called Agent Campbell. I'm pretty much just doing my own voice, but you can check that out. I'm allowed to talk about that. That's fine. The stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about, once I am allowed to talk about it, I'll announce it on Twitter, or sorry, X now, Instagram, those kind of things, or my Discord. Like, it sucks because like I've got to audition for a lot of fun stuff, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I've auditioned for.
So I got a funny,
know?
I got a real funny story, and it has to do with the last time we talked in your Discord with about 5 other people. I think Paul was there. You know, you mentioned being in a game. I searched a game for hours looking for somebody even close to your voice, and then afterwards you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not in that." Fuck. It was freaking Starfield. I was searching, like horribly searching for you, and then
I've had a few people message me being like, "Are you the guy? Are you the Scottish guy that sings the sea shanty?" And I'm like, "I'm not. No." But so many people thought I was, and I was like, I wish I was the sea shanty guy. That's good money there. I'll sing a sea shanty. If he doesn't want to do the DLC, Bethesda, you come to me. I'll fucking happily do that. You know. Like,
See, the funny part about that is our friend Rob thought he heard you. I asked that question almost immediately after he said that. I didn't even go looking. I was like, let me go to the source.
because you and I have been talking for a very long time, not very long time, but a long time, and you were coy. You were very coy, didn't say anything, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to go into these games, spend tens upon tens of hours in them, and I was like, I think I found... No, that's not him.
Yeah.
No, that's not him either. And then you just come out to tell me after I spent 34 hours looking for you.
See, that the worst part is I like frequently before a game releases, you can't say whether or not you're in a game, right? You know, you can say like I can't comment on the matter, but what you can do is like once the game is out, you can say no, I'm not in it. So sometimes what happens is you're involved in a game, it comes out, and you're still not released from your NDA. It is rare, especially now, but it happens. I have done work for one AAA game studio that has been out in the world for, I think, over a year now, and I'm still not allowed to talk about it. I'm still not allowed to mention what I did for it or anything because it was a union project, and this aspect, I'm trying to be very coy with how I'm talking about this.
No,
this aspect,
please do.
Yeah, this aspect that I worked on for it was non-union, But if I announced my involvement, it becomes like part of the whole thing. It's really weird. I'm not going to pretend to understand how it works.
Yeah.
I just know that until I'm released, until I get the wee NDA release form, can't say shit. And it could be that I should be allowed to say it, but like the NDA got lost in the mail or whatever, or like, but so it's just like I'm just and that's the thing is like
because union rules are tricky.
yes, they are.
Okay.
And the thing is as well is it's like I've now worked for I want to say like 3 AAA game studios. It might only be 2. I forget what but I've worked for a couple of AAA game studios, and it's like none of the stuff that has come out. None of the stuff that I've worked on has come out. Yeah. Or if it has, I'm not allowed to talk about it. And that's the frustrating part, because I am in what I call like the limbo, the voice actor limbo, where it's like I am a working voice actor, I do stuff, some of the stuff I've done is really cool, but no one fucking knows who I am.
Yeah, that's gotta suck. You could be so proud of what you're doing, and you see everybody else like, I played this guy, and they're making a name off of playing those characters, and you're like, I can't say shit.
I'm very envious of dub actors, like people that are working on like the Crunchyroll dubs and stuff like that, because first of all, I would love to do it, but on top of that, it's like the amount of following that these shows get before they're ever even dubbed, and then once they announce the dub, and you immediately get someone being like, right, like, oh, I'm such and such. Like the amount of my friends that are My Hero Academia actors, and like I knew one of them was working on My Hero like months below, and it is months before. I don't know why I said below. Just mine totally was
you're fine
a sieve. But yeah, months before their character appeared in the show. So like I knew they were working on it, and I was like, that's really fucking cool. I have this friend doing it. And it's just like
So I really want to bring this up because this goes probably all the way back to July. You mentioned about all those commercials you did on the East Coast about the drinking and everything, and it seems like whenever you're streaming, you have a little fun with the stuff, the nice.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'll have a swally. Weirdly enough, that was just a thing whenever for the first few days, weeks here on the West Coast, because it was just like I was so stressed about starting my new job. I wasn't like sleeping well.
How's that going, by the way?
Yeah. It's actually going all right. I'm essentially a glorified travel agent, which I'm totally okay with. It's working from home. Like my setup is actually like just over here, next to the 3D printer, which is running currently.
What are you making?
A Blood Bowl team, because I started playing Blood Bowl thanks to the new store that I'm frequenting. They were like, "Have you played Blood Bowl?" And I was like, "I've not." And I was like, "I was told it's like if the British invented NFL." He was like, "Imagine rolling dice, but if you roll a 1, your characters break their fucking ankles and everything's horrible." And I was like, "That sounds amazing."
Don't give my DM any ideas. Do not give my DM any ideas. He's tried to kill us multiple times.
Roll 1, break their ankles. So I was like, right, I'm gonna give this a go. I'm gonna try out Blood Bowl. So I tried my first game of it yesterday, and then I went home and was like, Orc proxy team, because I didn't want to spend I think it's like $100 to get a full Blood Bowl team, whereas I could get the STL to print as many as I want for like 40. So I was like, cool, that'll do fine. So I did. That was the thing. So that's what I'm currently printing. I've actually printed all of the miniatures. I'm just trying to print the bases, and it does look like they're finished printing, but also looks like half of them have failed. So we'll see.
I hate
see.
that. I hate that because
It
I've
happens.
seen it with Paul's. You know, you get everything all set up and it just randomly just fails. You don't know why it happens. It just does it, and you have
Yeah.
all this extra stuff, and you're like, well, this is ruined.
Yep.
I
Happens.
know I
It
remember
happens.
asking this, but resin, right?
Yeah, resin printer for me. Yeah. I'm using so the printer I've got is a cheap shit one. It's by a company called G Tech with 3 E's. So GEEE Tech. And
Sounds like they're
and
compensating for something.
they are, and it's the printers are not great, but it was $100. It was $100 for this resin printer. The company is, or sorry, the printer's name is Al Qaeda. So like there's jokes that it's the Al Qaeda printer, like it's gonna blow up and stuff because
I'm happy he said it before it went through my head.
I mean, as long as it doesn't, that's fine. But that's like the joke on the 3D printing communities. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't like slice shit or anything like that. I just like download the pre-supported versions and then just boop, that's it. That's like because I don't want to fuck around. I don't want to fuck around and find out. No, I'm good. But
Not
yeah,
that I've gotten back to it, but I still gotta figure out how to properly slice a resin print.
it's it's fucked. But, it's
No way around it.
just
It's
like,
just fucked.
yeah, like I don't understand it, but I do love like printing off like orcs and stuff. There's a guy I support on Patreon called Mr. Modulorca who makes, believe it or not, modular orcs with a name like Modulorca. Who would have ever guessed? But his models are fucking great. It's great. It's if you like your orcs, give him a swatch.
So back to what I was gonna ask you because I kind of showed it and I just polished it off. What is your drink of choice? What brand? What?
So the stuff that I've been drinking since I got here is like a honey-based liqueur called Barenjäger, and it was introduced to me by my friend Patrick, or Narwhal Storm. So shout outs to you, Patrick. It's like syrupy. It is like somewhere between the consistency of honey and syrup, but it's whiskey, and it is like really, really nice. But the reason I'm drinking that is because my drink of choice, which is actually a honey-based whiskey liqueur, is called Stroma, and it is like, for anyone who doesn't, do you know what the difference between a liqueur and a whiskey is?
Not a clue.
Do you, Paul?
No.
So a whiskey can only be a whiskey if it has 3 ingredients. Anything more than that, it can't be called a whiskey. I think a malt is 4, and I think like whiskey's 3, malt's 4, I think, and then anything over that is like it's not a whiskey. So whereas Barenjäger's a liqueur, then you get something called a whiskey liqueur. So that just means that it's whiskey based, but is just alcohol. So Barenjäger's a liqueur, Stroma's a whiskey liqueur, so it's whiskey based. Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah, the way you explain it, yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I'm talking English. But like,
no, you're talking alcohol.
Hey,
That's
buddy,
common
did you see a
language there.
real bright light? But no, yeah, Stroma is what my drink of choice would be, but it's impossible to get here in the States. So I instead Barenjäger, which seems to be relatively common,
You're
common anyway.
You're gonna have to message me that because I really want to try that now.
Which one, Barenjäger?
The
or
one you
Stroma,
can
or
get
both?
here.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I took a picture of it a while ago when you first showed it.
Oh yeah, when I had it on the stream, because it's got
Yeah.
the wee honeycomb on the top that looks like
Yeah.
a butt plug. It's great.
I looked at my little local liquor shop, but I gotta look at the big warehouse one nearby us.
It's yeah. I just want to get more of it. It would be nice if anyone's got a hookup for NorCal. Let me know.
Yeah, so it's funny because when you're streaming, Paul and myself will be at our own houses, and we'll just be like, "Oh, he's got one. All right, cool." And we just like chilling with you. You're a great personality to talk to, whether you're on our show or just on Twitch. You don't know how many times I would be like, what channel is he in that I could join in there with him and just start messing around?
That makes me feel nice, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No.
You guys are both great as well. Like, every conversation I've had with you guys has always been a laugh. Like, it's always good time.
Oh, dude, I have to. I keep tissues around because I laugh so hard sometimes, and obviously we knew you were coming along. I was like, I need to keep those close because there's been so many times I've belly laughed, straight belly laughed, just by listening to you just react to your chat on your stream.
I made my
issues. Your bowels.
So you like, I feel like the only way you like go over that is if I was like, oh, here's what I use for tissues: it's sandpaper, just like, just fucking taking it the.
Yeah, what are you doing? 12 grit.
Yeah. And then just half my face peels off now. I actually have got a funny crying story, which sounds like an oxymoron, but so obviously I mentioned a couple of times now about like my wife passed away. For anyone that doesn't know, the reason that I moved to America and stuff in the first place is because I married this amazing woman named Pam. Moved to Virginia about almost 4 years ago now. She was diagnosed with cancer. Then after a 3-year battle with cancer, she unfortunately passed away on the 27th of November. So we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary of it. But the 7th, which was just 2 days ago, I think it's the 9th now. So yeah, 2 days ago would have been Pam and I's 8th anniversary. And your boy decided that because he had memorialized his wife's Facebook page and everything, he was going to put a post on it, just kind of being like, this is what's going on in my life, right? So I pour my heart and soul out to it. I write this, but by the end of this like big post, I'm full on sobbing. Like, you know, like I'm like you, like I don't know if you've ever like, because you know men don't cry or whatever. I don't know if you've ever like sobbed, like I mean like uncontrollably sobbed, like the type of sob that you do where it's like it feels like you can't breathe. There's like a weight to it. It's horrible. And this doesn't sound like it's funny at all, but it gets funny. Don't worry.
It's me. Don't worry about it.
But so like this is all happening, and so I'm sobbing, and I reach for the tissues, and I grab these tissues, I blow my nose, and I'm like, oh, it feels really good. And then like of course tears are going down my face, and I wipe my tears, and I was like, fuck, what the fuck, and my eyes are stinging and it feels like it's blistered. I was like, oh, you fucker, what the fuck is it? I looked and it was the puffs with Vicks Vapor Rub on the thing.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there going, and it was just like, it just was the shittiest thing. It was like the worst possible way to fucking do it, you know? Like, so I will say that I have used these hankies or these tissues while masturbating. They haven't hurt my bobby yet, but I wouldn't put them anywhere near my eyes. They did clear my nose up real good though. So,
oh shit! And this is kind of the stuff you're gonna get when you sub to his or I guess it's not sub it. I guess it's follow on Twitch.
oh no, follow me on Twitch, sub on Twitch. Go to my Patreon, give me money, then donate more money to me on PayPal, and then go to my Amazon wishlist, buy some off the Amazon wishlist, have it sent directly to me. Did I mention the donating on PayPal? Because you have to donate on PayPal. And then Patreon, one of my Patreon tiers is $250 a month, and it makes you in the main vein. The main vein. There might be an OnlyFans in future. If there is, you subscribe to that and you'll get a big picture of my balloon knot in 4K.
So that's a picture that just went through my head. Not a picture I necessarily wanted, but you know, hey.
The amount of people that lose it whenever I say balloon knot to describe your arsehole, but that's what it is. It's your fucking balloon knot.
So what are you playing next on that Twitch?
That's a great question. I have no fucking idea. Like, because like I say, I'm a variety streamer. So it's like sometimes I'll just paint miniatures on my stream. Sometimes I'll build model kits. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes, excuse me, I'll like start a big game. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to play next. Like, am I going to do Cyberpunk? Am I going to go back to Cyberpunk? I don't know. I know that one of my friends really wanted me to play like something they used to play when they were a kid. It's called like Speedy Egbert. And it looks like a really ridiculous like DOS platformer type flash thing. And like, that's interesting to me. I might do that.
So-
Maybe I'll play something else that's like smaller and indie, or maybe I'll play like more Fall Guys, or maybe I'll like, you know.
If you play
The
Fall Guys,
world
I
is
better be
my
your first
oyster.
message. If you play Fall Guys, I better be your first message, or second or third. As long as we're playing together, I don't care. But
I mean, that's fine.
I want to be in on that. But you want to know what a game that I feel like you would have a lot of fun with, and you've probably played it 20 or probably closer to 30 years ago, but they remastered it about 5 or 6. I think it'd be hilarious to watch you play Spyro.
Oh, Spyro, like the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be hilarious
I
to
have
watch you
it.
play that.
I have it. I could. Have to defeat all those nasty Norks.
Nasty Nork.
It's funny. Do you know who voiced
Tom
Spyro?
Kenny.
But do you know who voiced in the GameCube games?
GameCube.
Yeah,
What
the GameCube games.
I don't remember them on PlayStation.
Oh, they were also on GameCube and
Is that when
PS2.
Activision bought them?
Yeah, this was I forget. It was like the Dark trilogy or whatever.
No, I have no clue.
It was Elijah Wood.
Actually, I know what you're talking about. That was what the crossover game, right?
No, that was the one on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh.
I'm talking about the one on the Game Boy Advance was the crossover one with
Yeah.
the Crash, and that was terrible. But I think it's the same era roughly. But yeah, the one on the Xbox now it was Elijah Wood voiced Spyro.
Frodo?
Yes.
No shit.
Yeah.
I would not. If that was a trivia question, you could have given me multiple choice on that. I was getting it wrong. 100%. Rob in the chat goes, Little Howie, Great Math, and World Adventure.
Voiced by Harry Mandel. I would play that. I'll play the shit out of that. As long as there's a carrot top minigame.
Dude, I can't wait to see what you do in the future. This has been one of the most awesome friendships I've had, like with a Twitch streamer, with just a friend, somebody I've met in person. This has been phenomenal, and I'm not just goosing you here, but I don't miss I don't miss a stream. Paul doesn't miss a stream. It's been an absolute blast to talk about you. After the stream, you're picking what shirt you want or whatever you want, nerds related, because there's 3 different identities on that.
Yeah, I
channel.
actually, it's funny. I'm literally just like looking at all of them, and I'm like, Jesus, you have so much merch.
Well, I'm part of a race team. I have my own broadcasting channel, and then we have the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. So,
jeez, you have so much stuff. How am I supposed to choose?
I know, which our wonderful viewers who actually have been hovering right around 10 live come or go as they please. But thank you guys for tuning in with that. Go check out our shit too. It's under the Streamlabs stuff. But Mike, where can the wonderful people on the interwebs find your beautiful face?
Oh, you can find me everywhere under the name HighlanderVO. So it's like if you at me on X or Twitter or whatever the fuck they're calling it now, or on Instagram or whatever, it's always HighlanderVO. The VO stands for voiceover, believe it or not. The Highlander is because that was my nickname in Virginia. They just started calling me Highlander, and I was like, ironic because there should only have been one Highlander. The other movies are shit. But yeah, no, I'm on that. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky, but I don't think I've ever posted anything.
The hell
I'm
is
on
Blue Sky?
Blue Sky was created by the guy that created Twitter. There you go. And I'm on Threads, which is Instagram's Twitter. I'm on everything. It's HighlanderVO. That's where you can find me. And my phone number and social security is as follows. It's
Hold on. I do need a new credit card. Give me a second.
Me too. Me too. as my single tear rolls down my cheek because I'm broke as fuck. But yeah, no, seriously,
Got the wrong tree.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. You can find me. You can find me where if you need me, I'll be there. What? Just call my name and I will appear. But you have to do it 3 times in front of a mirror and then flick the lights on and off. It's like a whole thing.
Rule 3.
Yeah, exactly. Rule of 3. You get.
Nope, not doing it. Last time I did that, some ghost came out of the mirror and scared the shit out of me. But
it's funny. It's funny to do.
But one last thing. If there is one thing that being a nerd has done to you, for you, what is it?
Is done to me?
Yeah, like,
or for me. Well, it's ruined me financially because let's be honest. I was gonna say, like, if I just didn't have this shit, I could afford a lot of avocado toast. But the one thing that's done for me is it's opened up this amazing community. Like, every nerddom, every fandom, every geekdom, whatever you want to call it, they all have people, bad and good, right? Like, some people are going to be elitist assholes, gatekeepers, all that shit. Other people are going to be some of the closest friends you'll ever have. And you're going to meet everyone in between. You can find love in nerddoms. You can do all these things. So it's like the one thing that it does is it can bring people together. And that's like one of the coolest things of all. So I would say that it's brought me a lot of friends and family and so much more. So if any of you cunts are gatekeeping, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to take your knees.
Yeah.
I'm no joking.
For me, because it's the first time I've ever asked that question, but whenever we get somebody on, that's probably going to be my staple at the end. But for me, what being a nerd has done is open me up to, because I'm a wrestling nerd. I'm part of a wrestling page that is full of wrestling nerds. I'm part of a Nerd and Proud Facebook page, a Super Nerds friend, and it goes everywhere. Like, I mean, absolutely disgusting. It's not just Transformers, TMNT, Digimon, Pokemon. It's not any of just that stuff. Picture it as tree branches, how they web off. It is awesome, and you find some awesome people. Like, we met Highlander at Kineticon, one of the most down-to-earth people I've ever met outside of the normal people we have on this friend group. You see Susie and Will every week. Paul, it's the first time Paul's been here in 3 years.
Well, no, I came out to the con episode.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, man?
4 months ago, and then, like, 2 years after that.
Well, no, I think it's only been about a year.
Dude, I just remember you narrating the whole Spaceballs episode. You literally could have taken a narration class for like
what can I say? I'm good at public speaking.
For the visually impaired, like how they watch movies, like how they go through walking through doorway, Rabs,
or it goes.
But guys, thank you all for tuning in. Mike, thank you for coming on the show with us tonight.
Anytime.
It has been...
If you want me back at any time, you let me know. I'll do it. I don't know if any of you fuckers know this. I have nothing going on in my life. Not a goddamn thing. I'll do whatever you want forever for pay. I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
That is...
Am I joking?
Probably not.
I'm not.
Because I wouldn't be. Just let me get some Taco Bell first. It'll open it up nicely.
Also, I just saw Rob saying broken into Warhammer. I know that pain. it is yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Twitch, hit that follow button. We appreciate you all for being here. Check out our merch. And Mike, thank you for joining us tonight.
Again, thanks for having me. Both of yous. I appreciate you so much. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, I just enjoyed chilling with you guys. So,
Wow.
peace out, everybody.
Catchies.
Later.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.